Hey everyone, I just got back from seeing Mama, the new horror movie, executively produced by Guillermo del Toro. Um, my first impressions on it were that it was interesting. It was good. Um, but as I think about it more and more, it starts to get um better as I think about it. It was really creepy in the trailers. At least the movie was really creepy, and that's what intrigued me. Even though it's PG-13, that has nothing to do with it. You don't need gore and sex and like language for a movie to be scary. You know, um, Jessica Chastain plays Annabelle, the spouse of these two girls' uncle. These girls are played by Megan Charpentier and Isabel Nestle. They play Victoria and Lily, respectively. And yeah, I just got the IMDb page on my other monitor here, so I'm just gonna be reading off that a little bit. But basically, these two girls were kidnapped by their father, who killed their mother. So their father kidnaps them, takes them to like a cabin in the woods. So when they get to the cabin, Jeffrey is his name. These girls' father gets taken away into another dimension by Mama, this like guardian of sorts that the girls created in their minds. That's how it's explained in the movie. The only explanation for it in the movie that we get. And I can buy that, I guess, but it's kind of odd. If they made it up, then they should be able to create anything they freaking want. It's like an imaginary friend, basically. But yeah, this Mama, she takes their dad away, and the kids are abandoned, and they live in this cabin for 5 years, and the police have been searching for these kids, suspecting they were dead. So they find the kids alive, and then they have to put them in the care of either their aunt or their uncle, Lucas, who's played by Nicolaj Coster-Waldau. I have no clue how to say his name, but he played both Jeffrey, the father, and Lucas, the uncle, which is interesting. He and Jessica Chastain's character, Annabelle, take care of these two girls, Lily and Victoria, and the girls basically have to ease their way back into society, because they've been on their own for 5 years. Their development basically stopped when they were abandoned by their father. So, Lily is freaking weird. She walks kind of like a Reagan when she was walking down the stairs in The Exorcist, kind of like that. Well, not like a crab walk thing, but the motion is very choppy and it's really bizarre. And Victoria, the older sister, she seems to warm up to her uncle and Annabelle easier than Lily. Lily seems to have the hardest time dealing. Oh, so yeah, Lily seems to be the person who's having more difficulty getting through these tough times, getting through this change in lifestyle, and she's just not warming up to anybody. She seems like a lost cause, basically. But Victoria is someone who we really get attached to her character, if you will. We don't want to see anything bad happen to her, or we don't want to see anything bad happen to Lily either, but Lily seems like more of a lost cause, and that can't be helped. So, that might be a negative aspect of the movie. Yeah, the visuals and the cinematography, all fantastic. Um, some beautiful landscape shots in the opening sequence. The CG effects, you know, Mama is not like a physical thing in front of the camera, it's CG. Mama was really creepy, it was really intense. Well, it wasn't intense like all the way through. There was some parts of the film that were really intense. I kind of like had to close my ears, and due to my epilepsy, there was one part where this doctor is in the cabin and it's pitch black and he has to use his flash on his camera to be able to see, and that was kind of bugging my eyes. So if you're like epileptic or sensitive to flashing lights, I'd recommend not watching that part. You know, it's very reminiscent of the older horror movies that didn't need gore, and well, they had sex, but they didn't need sex, and didn't need language that much either to be scary. And that's something that is really rare nowadays. The last movie that bothered me like this was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And hold on, trolls. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, the reason why that bugged me was just the way Arlie Ermey treated those kids in the van, you know, making them put a gun in their mouth, you know, that freaked me out. But this kind of freaked me out in a different way with its visuals and, you know, the character of Mama. When you get a good look at her, she's freaking creepy as hell. But one complaint that I have about the second half, basically, of the movie, or the last quarter of the movie, Mama, the ghost Mama, seems to be, it gets less scary because the first 3/4 of the movie, she was very mysterious. You only saw little bits of her, like every now and then, but through the last quarter of the movie, you saw her a lot. You saw her like almost all the time. You saw her, and it was more reminiscent of like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, where you see the antagonist pretty much the whole movie, and that kind of made the character of Mama less scary. And I think they could have done something to make them not have to show the character a lot during the last part of the movie, but it was necessary for them to like tell the story that they were trying to tell. 7 out of 10 for Mama. If you're interested, I'd recommend checking it out. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.